How much time do you spend with your clients working on arrangements and composition and,
It depends on the client.
Gotcha, okay. Meaning, like, are you, like, if you're familiar with them or if you're buddies with them?
A little bit,
budget?
or how receptive they are to it or stuff like that. I mean, like, usually with death metal bands and stuff, they're pretty set on how they think their song should be and stuff like that. And a lot of those arrangements kind of flow and this and that. They're not so much, you know.
It's not your typical pop structures.
Yeah. And so it's like, you know, yeah, there's sections that could probably be shorter or whatever, but, you know, whatever. There's really not a lot.
You're already kind of outside
change
the bounds of tradition.
Yeah. You're not like, I'm gonna make this hook better.
Yeah, we've got to work on this 1-4-5, guys.
You know what,
really
this
nail it down.
13 riff salad leads right now.
Yeah, so with that stuff, it's more like, what happens there? Like if I do some pre-pro with them or go to a rehearsal, it's more like something weird happens there, you know, or this part kind of, you know, all of a sudden I was like, what the fuck just happened?
Right.
So it's more of that kind of stuff and just kind of straighten some things out, make sure everybody's playing the same thing or knows what make sure everybody knows what's going on. Because sometimes, you know, if you're just playing stuff live, you could just get really dialed into what you're doing and you don't realize, oh, you're playing that. I mean, that happens so much in the studio. Like, oh, I didn't even know what you were playing there.
Especially with two guitar players. Yeah, because they'll be playing completely different shit all the time. Yeah.
And then for consistency purposes, you have one guy record both parts and the other dude gets salty.
Can be, sometimes.
I mean, that's happened.
It's happened.
Generally not, but
Yeah.
you know, but now when you put it on tape and through the microscope, you're like, oh, we're not playing the same note there, we're off by a half step, or...
Oh, wow.
Yeah, comes up. Has there been a particular record that you worked on where you were like, coming up in your career where you're like, I feel like everything has just clicked on this record, like I've nailed it, you know what I mean? Like, is there one record that is like the definitive one for you?
I don't know. I mean, I'm always so in the struggle, like of just fighting with everything and you know, so zoomed in to like, that's a problem I need to fix, that's a problem I need to fix, so it's really hard. It's really hard. I mean, it takes me weeks or months after a record, or even, you know, like, oh, I haven't listened to this record in a year or two, and then you put it on, you're like, oh, this is a great record. You know, like,
because you have to be somewhat removed from it for a little bit, right?
Yeah, and even then I can't like go, let me hear that again, because now I'm back there. I'm back in that place.
Right.
Yep.
Like, I get one listen and I can't rewind. I can't go back to the beginning of a track, or I'm back in production mode. Like, oh, I should have, you know, fixed that snare drum, or then whatever, you know.
Took you all that time to decompress.
Yeah. And the reason I ask that is because, so I have a favorite producer and engineer, Terry Date. Okay, so the very first time I heard a Terry Date record, even though I didn't know it was a Terry Date record, I was like, why does this sound so good? You know? And so listening to Terry Date records, does a lot of Pantera stuff, you know, which I liked. I liked the Pantera stuff, loved Pantera growing up, actually. But by the time he gets to Around the Fur with Deftones, I don't know what happened to Mr. Terry Date, but dude became a king, in my opinion. Because from the onset, the fucking kick snare right at the beginning of that record, dude, I'm like, these are the best sounding drums I've ever fucking heard in my life. And I've been obsessed with drum tones since then. You know? And so that's why I asked, because I'm like, damn, dude, like, I don't know if there's just one for every producer or engineer where they're like, I've nailed it, this is my one, you know? Not that you only have one, but like, I'm sure there comes to be a point where you do a record and you're like, damn, dude, finally all came together. For me, I remember working on Miasma, the Black Dahlia Murder record, and before that, it felt like everything was kind of a struggle. And that one was, the mix on it was just kind of like, easy. I don't know how to say it. We didn't really do a whole lot.
In a lot of ways, this interview has a lot to do with crossing thresholds. You know, like finding particular points in time. Was there a turning point for you with this? And I think that I feel like I'm picking up what you're putting down. Was there a record or group of records where you felt like you had turned some kind of a corner? And what you're saying is, yes, you can listen to it a year or two later. You can enjoy it purely from a listening standpoint, but you are so quick to go back into the mode, right? That, you almost...
It's like impossible to turn it off, right? Like, I know, like, I'll be listening to something and I'm like, the fucking snare drum rules. I just can't not think about it, you know what I mean? Or like, why are the vocals so low through this entire Tool record? You know what I mean? I don't understand why I can't hear Maynard. I know he wants us to hear him, you know?
He doesn't.
He doesn't. Oh, that's so funny to me. Okay, well, so I'm sure you saw this one coming, but I gotta ask about the Scott Stapp record, man. I gotta ask because so I looked it up. I knew about Creed. Okay, I wasn't actually aware that Scott Stapp had solo records out, not just one, but records. And then to see that the record that you worked on went platinum in like fucking 2 weeks or something, dude. That's bananas, man.
that's
pretty crazy.
good,
I bet that's got to feel pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, it's awesome having that on the wall, you know, because it's hard to get those.
Yeah, it's
understatement of the millennium.
It's not like they grow on trees, right?
This motherfucker low key as fuck. You know, it's hard to get them.
It is. Like, I mean, 30
Damn right
years
it
and
is.
I have one, so it's,
Yeah.
you know, it's awesome.
So was that another Pro Tools kind of scenario for
Pretty
you?
much. I mean, I was, you know, that's after I was working with Ron, and I think I don't know if we had done something with Scott already. I don't remember the exact time frame. I did a few things with Scott and with Ron.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I got to do. It was actually cool. It was on Crystal, my wife's birthday. Scott played at like one of the NASCAR awards at the Waldorf Historia.
Oh, no shit.
And Ron wanted to be involved, and so he wanted to be involved with the broadcast mix. So I did front of house at the Waldorf for the NASCAR awards in like 2004.
Oh shit!
Yeah.
Oh, dude, that's cool. Wow.
This is the best day. This is so sick, dude.
I'm sure that presented all kinds of unique challenges. Have you done broadcast stuff before? Or
Well, I was
had
just
you?
doing the house sound.
Oh, okay, got you. Oh, and so Ron was handling the broadcast.
Yeah, he was in the truck,
Got you.
and they had a union engineer or whatever.
Sure.
But yeah, I was just in the house. I mean, it was the first time I ever touched a mic. They had like an XL4 or something crazy, and but it was fun. We had a sound check.
Oh, that's cool as fuck, dude.
That is fucking dope, dude.
It was
Wow.
fun.
Damn, homie. Okay.
I just say yes. Like, you want to do live sound? Sure. Like, I don't know the gear. I don't know the room. I don't.
But you go
I'll
figure it out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It sound great.
No, you know what, man? That kind of correlates with some of the best advice I've ever been given, right? Some of the best advice I was ever given was from Steve Evans, who worked on like Sepultura and fucking Limp Bizkit and all that stuff. But he told me, he's like, look, man, opportunities don't just come every day. So when they come, you take them. You take them like they're yours, and you take them now. Because if you don't, in 5 minutes, somebody else is going to take that opportunity. And so you telling me about the fellow walking up to you outside of IAR and being like, anybody know anybody? Anybody know anybody? You grabbed that opportunity, right? And you fucking took it.
Yeah, dude.
And I'm just sitting here thinking about Steve. I'm like, yeah, man, it fucking applies, dude. You have to say yes, and you have to take those opportunities.
And it's not necessarily easy. You know?
Right.
Like even talking to Biohazard about going to tour in Europe. Like, I've never been on tour. I'm not a guitar tech. Like, I don't, but, I was nervous. I was scared. I was like, what? But, yeah, fuck yeah, I'll do it.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, and then you say yes to stuff.
Yeah, you say yes, and then, but now I guess it ended up getting canceled. You said, right?
Yeah, so I didn't go. But even the one-offs or whatever, it's like, I'm not a guitar tech. But
But if you did, then you'd come back and you could.
I could fake it.
Yeah.
Now I'm a guitar tech.
Yeah. Do you how do I a lot of people talk about imposter syndrome.
Mhm.
Do you deal with imposter syndrome? Do you feel
Sure.
like that sometimes?
For sure.
Yeah. I feel like people never really shake it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's hard.
How do you deal with it?
I just do the work.
Just do it. Get in there and
Yeah.
get it done, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really the only. Have you ever been in a situation, or have you ever had a project where you were like, I wish I could have that one back?
I don't know. I mean, there's probably aspects of every record that I wish I could have back, you know, especially when you're in the moment and things are happening and this and that, and you know, you listen to it later and you're like, oh, that one got away, you know, like, but whatever it is, whether it's, you know, or could I have done this or should I have done this, like that gets to be you know, I mean, but you can do that forever.
Yeah, that's true. Oh, that's good for you, man. So it sounds like you don't dwell on that stuff very much.
I mean, I sure I do. I mean, you know, lay in bed and think about that stuff or whatever. But like,
Wakes you up
but
in
I
the
have to
morning.
move on. I mean, I have
Yeah.
to just keep making records and stuff like that. Like, you know, I'm not pulling up records I did to remix them in my spare time.
Yeah.
Right. Circling back to something
Yeah.
you had said earlier, just moving forward, dude.
Yeah, and a lot of times you listen to that, you're like, oh, I wish that was better. But like, you also don't realize or forget like what it took just to get to that point. Like that there was challenges that I or you or whatever overcame to get there, and you kind of forget that. You're like, well, I want it to be here, and it's only here, but it might have started out here.
Oh yeah.
And just
Right.
getting to here was monumental.
Mm-hmm.
So
Man, you know what? Honestly, Pete, what it makes me think of, man, is I give music lessons in Longmont, and one of the things that I do is I help coach my students who are interested in this kind of thing on songwriting stuff. And one of the first things that I will say to my students about writing music is when you have an idea and it exits you and enters the world, it's no longer exclusively yours, and that means that you are no longer the sole arbiter of whether it's good or not. I'll tell them, I'll be like, I've written songs and I'm like, that's a piece of shit. And then somebody comes up to me and says something nice about it, and at first you don't know how to take it, but eventually you start to understand, be like, this person's opinion is valid. Obviously, man, as evidenced by the platinum record I see on the wall. And you might, in your spare time or in your memory, be like, damn, I wish I could have done this, I wish I could have done that. But it seems like a bunch of people agree that you're doing okay, man.
yeah, I mean, I did a lot of Pro Tools stuff on that record, and Ron mixed it, and that's how I got that. And we flew like on standby into a hurricane to mix that record. That's the fun part of the story.
Elaborate,
Yeah,
please.
do
Yeah.
tell, sir.
Well, there was like a deadline to finish the record, and it needed to be done.
This is for
And-
Wind Up, right?
Yes.
Okay.
And so Ron got the call, like, can you come down here and mix the record, like, in the next 12 days or something? And I don't remember what, if it was like Hurricane Rita or whatever hurricane it was, but like we got the last flight out of Newark on standby to get to
Damn,
to
dude.
Miami, and went to Hit Factory Criteria, and that's where that was mixed. And then at that point it was like this deadline's coming, and so we had to pull a lot of things together and get all the files together and stuff like that.
Holy shit.
And organize it to be mixed and stuff like that.
So the expectation of real grace under pressure, you had to get that done, man.
Yeah, just do it. Yeah,
Yeah.
And you know, people were trying to put stuff together and find stuff that they'd recorded here and this and that, and then it would all come to me, and I would organize it and clean it up, and because we were on such a time crunch, I would like figure out the layout. And at this point, I've been working with Ron for a while, so I knew how he liked to work. And I mean, I started working the way he worked because it made so much sense.
Sure. Yep.
It was like,
Yep.
this guy's been doing this for 35, 40 years. Like, he's got it figured out. He makes hit records. Like, I'm going to do whatever he does. And that's still how I mix. Is pretty, like, Ron could come up to the console with one of my mixes, look at the labels, and be like, oh, yeah.
You're right.
Be like, I'll take it from here.
This is what's going on. so I would lay everything out, and he'd be working on a song, and I would lay out the next one, go in there, help him a little bit, and then when he was ready for the next one, we'd swap SCSI drives, and I'd actually pull up the song on the SSL and run all the mutes and do all the basic setup automation, just because at this point I knew the track because I'd been messing with it. So I just do all the mutes, do all the setup, label it, say, Ron, this is what you got here. All right, start mixing, and I'd sit with him for a while, and then at some point go start work on the next one, and we just kind of assembly lined it through.
Damn.
Yeah,
And then,
that's wild.
And it was, the question was like, what do you need to finish this record? And it's like, Ron's a pilot, so he said, I need a jet.
No shit.
Oh, shit.
So
Because it had to be at mastering on a certain date with
Right.
Bob Ludwig.
Got you. Otherwise, you're getting pushed to the back of the schedule. Bob Ludwig's schedule, which is a long schedule.
Yeah.
Okay, and that's an excellent segue, because I was going to ask, well, what was pushing the deadline? So mastering schedules pushing the deadline. Okay, got you. So wait a
So
second.
we took the tape off the machine. I think Ron went back to the hotel while I was packing up some of his gear and stuff, grabbed both our suitcases, picked me up at the studio. We went to whatever the FBO was, Millionaire or whatever, and walked right onto the Learjet
Damn, dude.
to Portland, Maine.
Holy shit, that's cool as fuck.
And then Ron flew it?
No.
Oh, okay.
No, they had pilots. We were exhausted. We both fell asleep.
That's kind of why I was like, this motherfucker flew you guys from Florida to Maine?
No, I downed a couple Belvederes and fell asleep.
Yeah, you did.
I've
Yeah,
been up
you did.
all night.
That is, Pete, that's a fucking sick story, dude.
That's a pretty
That's
sick
a good
story,
story
dude.
right there, man.
And then the best, and I had been flying with Ron around, because Ron did have a plane, a single engine airplane, so that was awesome. Like, that was some of our first, like, I did that first project with him, but then I just kept calling him, just like I said, like with Danny, I kept calling Danny.
Yeah.
I kept calling Ron, and like, to me, a lot of, in my experience, a lot of like the most successful, awesome people in this business are awesome people, and they're super nice. And there's never been, I've only experienced like, who the fuck are you, a couple times in this business. Usually it's like people are just cool and they're people, and they get to that place by being people that people want to hang out with.
Right. Not that complicated of a formula. Right.
So like there was a couple times like Ron was working on a 311 record, and I would, talk to him every couple weeks, and I was like, you got the plane out there, right? And he's like, yeah. And like, when you wrap it up, when are you coming back? And I flew myself one way to LA just to fly back with him in the plane, because it's so much fun.
That's fucking awesome, dude. That's so cool.
I mean, a big part of being in this industry is community and networking too.
Yeah.
And so people don't want to work with assholes, and so
who does?
who does? Right? Nobody does. It doesn't matter what industry you're in, but regardless, you do tend to have people like that kind of hanging around. But yeah, man, it just kind of it's wild. Some of the people, how do I say this? Some of the most successful people in the industry that I know or met are like so good at networking, it's unbelievable. It's like a magic skill that they have. I wish I was more outgoing when it comes like just walk up to somebody, be like, hey, like at a show, I know that you're a producer or an engineer, just walk up and be like, what the fuck is up, dude? I love this record that you make. I get nervous. You know what I mean? I'm just
me
like,
too.
I don't know if I'm gonna walk up and be like, hi. You know what I mean? And like just totally fuck that shit up. But yet, dude, I know so many people that like, dude, they're getting the gig, not necessarily because, don't get me wrong, they're good.
Of course.
But they're not necessarily getting the gig because they're the best. It's because they know who they're fucking talking with, and they are networking like motherfuckers, man. So good on you, man. That is something I wish I could have done over the years, is just been better about picking up the phone, man, and just be like, how you doing? I'm not calling you for anything. I'm just calling to say hi and how you're doing. Keep in touch.
Straight up.
Yeah.
Well, that's how I worked as a freelance guy in New York. Like you get busy, do stuff, and like I'd forget. I still do it. I forget to book work or look for work or like put plant the seeds for work. I forget to do it.
Yeah.
Because I'm into making the records part. Like I'm not into marketing. I don't, social media is a necessary evil. Like it's not fun.
You couldn't have said it better ourselves, dude. Necessary evil. Definitely necessary, but there is
definitely evil.
Definitely evil.
Definitely evil.
Well, dude, actually, Facebook and YouTube are going to have to pay $72 million. Did you guys hear about that?
No, what are you talking about?
They were found guilty this week. And basically, they were found guilty knowing that their platforms were addictive and pushing it on children. And so now they are going to pay lots and lots of money.
Dude, it's funny you would say that. I have started to see ads for if you used these social media services between the ages of such and such.
Isn't that nuts?
Here it comes.
It's
dude.
like, did you use talcum powder? Were you also on Instagram? You could have cancer. Like,
fuck.
I know. I did both of those.
But yeah, so that's how I'd find work. Is every couple months I had my I'd just like make a list of who haven't I talked to in a while.
Right, dude.
And I just like start calling through the list. Like,
Yeah.
hey dude, how you been? What's going on? What do you do? Are you writing music? Are you working on stuff? Are you playing shows? Can I come see you? What's going on? And
man.
And it wasn't necessarily, it was, to get work, but also just to stay in touch with
Catch
people.
up with your fucking buddies,
it's
dude.
to stay in touch first, but to getting work is like the auxiliary byproduct.
Right.
Yeah, that 9 times out of 10 it's not going to work, but like there's a lot of times is that they're like, oh, we were just thinking about recording. I'm glad you called me because we didn't know what we were going to do or where we were going to go or
Right,
whatever.
you are.
Pete, this is such a clippable clip right here. This is such a clippable clip because I mean, it's so elementary, right? It's so elementary. But something as simple as, like you said, every couple of months, just get the list of fucking people out, call your friends, man. See what they're up to.
Call your fucking friends, dude.
Pick up the phone, call your friends. Even if you're shooting an email, just see what's up, dude. And I mean, if that's going to help support your career, maybe more people should be doing that.
And isn't it so funny, gentlemen, with everything we just said about the necessary evil of social media, where by now they might as well take the word social out of it because it's just a cesspool. Isn't it amazing that it's the actually being social? Call your pal. Go to a fucking show, dude.
That still goes
Go
really
get
far.
dinner. Grab a couple of beers, dude. And that's
Well,
Korean.
and even the calling, like now everybody wants to text.
Yeah.
And I mean, we all text, and it's great, and it's easy to shoot something out. But like, I still call my friends, and I still call people in this business, and I always have, and it's helped me out a ton. Like,
Dude.
making that personal connection with your voice and talking to somebody and. Like you said, relationships. The whole business is relationships, and not even just engineer, producer, client relationships, but like manufacturers, service people that fix things, people that redo the motors on the tape machines or lap the heads or whatever, and calling those people. And every time I do, I learn something. And I build a relationship with that person where I'm not just another guy saying, how much?
Yeah.
Right, dude.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, and they're going to treat you differently.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And I've had so many wonderful people help me, just because I'm cared about them and made a relationship with them, and especially when I was younger and stuff. I was just this kid, like, my buddy John helped me so much. He's a tech and stuff, and he'd come over to my apartment and work on the tape machine, and I'd make him dinner and buy him beer. But like,
hell yeah,
I couldn't afford to pay him his rate. And,
Yeah.
and people have given me tons of stuff and different pieces of equipment or pieces of wire left over from an install or whatever that we put this together little piece by little piece, and like every haven't couldn't have done it if I had to pay retail for everything or talk to a Sweetwater representative.
Got Charlie Davis calling me every week. No offense, Charlie. What's up, dude?
What's good, Charlie?
Yeah, but that's I can say I need to start practicing that. I'm going to take that from this interview, and I'm going to be better about that. this year. I'm actually going to pick up the phone and call people. Dude, there are people, good friends of mine I haven't talked to in fucking 10 years, man. You know
It's
what I mean?
hard, and time flies. You don't even realize it's been 10 years.
Well, saying it out loud, just when I said it, I was like, holy shit, 10 fucking years.
Well,
yeah.
And it's hard, too, because everybody eventually atomizes. Everybody separates into their own little sphere, you know, and sometimes it's tough to pop that bubble. But and just as Pete's explaining right now, for a variety of different reasons, it's worth making the connection, man.
Yeah. Wow, so that's really cool, dude. I was gonna ask you. You were talking about working with Ron and like bringing all the different files and stuff together. Was that because that record was recorded at multiple different studios and you were having to kind of bring all the sessions together? Is that
I don't know exactly what happened. I think it was more of just a file management thing where
like shit
they
was
were
just
making
everywhere?
copies onto different drives to do different things, and the guitars were on this drive here and this and that, and just having to coalesce all that stuff.
Right.
Well, you know, you bring up another good point. When Pro Tools was kind of getting started, not everybody read the manual to determine the folder hierarchy either, right?
There's some crazy shit that happens, and you know, especially like that. And then you've got musicians that are running Pro Tools. Like I think they were in a house or something, and probably had 2 or 3 Pro Tools rigs going, so they're making copies and stuff, and copies are going everywhere. So the kind of housekeeping and file management gets out of control fast if you're not really onto it.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it becomes a lot of housekeeping at that point. And then I also wanted to ask you, when you said you were kind of getting things set up for Ron, like on the SSL, like the mutes and automation. So are you basically talking about like tracks, like say if a guitar track isn't running at this particular time in the song, you're going to mute that track or something like that? Okay.
So you're muting the noise from either the channel or any outboard, or you know, if you're on tape, the tape or whatever. So just to clean it up.
Gotcha. Okay, so you would kind of get a lot of that stuff set up for him, like you said. So he'd just basically be like, "This is what you're dealing with. Fucking fly these
especially
tracks."
on that record. Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Huh. Have you found in your experience that there are pieces of outboard gear that you are using every single record, like regardless of genre, like a distressor, for example?
I mean, it's all the same gear in here for every record.
Yeah.
You know. So yeah, absolutely.
I wasn't sure if maybe like you would use like maybe lexicon reverbs for rock, but maybe not on hip hop or something like that. Or
Yeah, again, I mean, especially since I use real outboard pieces of equipment, I only have so many options. But I mean, I do different things, and even from one metal record to another, I might use different reverbs based on what I'm trying to do.
kind of like what the vibe is and what they're trying to achieve.
Yeah, or like, oh, last week I did this and that sounded cool. Maybe I'll try to do this on this, or like different things, different, you know, phases you go through with things, or different things you explored, and you're like, that really worked when I did it on that record back then. Maybe it would work for this because this has kind of a similar,
like a similar
thing
feel
or
or
problem, or you know, whatever.
Could be whatever,
I'm
right?
trying to fix the same thing, or you know.
Dude, okay. So you just made a comment about like, oh, maybe I'll use this again because of a very similar thing. Steering a little bit to the left, but still sort of, this is not entirely tangential. This has to do with records that you worked on. Kyle and I were listening to some of the Blood Incantation stuff in the car, and some of the like the older material was like, oh, they are getting it in and they're a killer death metal band. But this one record was like just like a soundscape. Like,
I think, is that Time Wave Zero? Is that am I getting the name right?
The more ambient one.
yeah, where it was just, it was literally like all vibe. Like, how do you, I think of drums and guitars, I'm like, how do you make a record like that?
I had the same question because is there even are there, I shouldn't say instruments, the usual instruments, drums, guitars, voice, aren't there, right? So I mean, they're using instruments because keyboards, synthesizers, and all that stuff are instruments. But yeah, how do you even fucking do that, man?
With a lot of DI boxes. I think I bought every Radial DI in Denver.
Shout out to Radial.
What's up, Radial? What's good?
You make great products, and I love your stuff.
Yeah, and the Rupert Neve one, which is one of my favorite DIs ever. The Rupert Neve Designs one.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Is that the one that's kind of like arced on the top?
No, it's just a little box.
Oh, okay. I'll have to take a look at it before we get out of here.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm super familiar.
It's
So
an
you're
active DI, but it's awesome.
So you're running everything through DI boxes?
A lot of it, yeah. I mean, I think there was a classical guitar and a couple other little,
Like kind of like
little-
spare sparse
little
in the
things,
background?
yeah.
Yeah.
but most of it was stuff they had written and rehearsed on the different synths and stuff that they had.
So those are synthesizers and stuff then.
Yeah.
Dude, I wasn't sure if it's like theremin.
Oh,
I'm like,
no,
what
I
the
don't
fuck
think
am
there
I
was
even
a
hearing?
theremin.
It's
yeah.
the sounds captured and produced are otherworldly, which I'm sure is what you guys were going for. But yeah, Paul and I are like, how the fuck?
Yeah, dude, it's because we're so accustomed to the instruments that we use to ideating song structure in the more traditional or predictable format. And you're listening to the album, and there's no words. It's synths, but there's a discernible narrative. Like you can feel if there's a sense of forward motion, which it was just fascinating because it eschewed or did not utilize so many things that you're used to. And we were just like, dude, we have to ask him about this.
Yeah, no, that record's cool. I mean, those guys are awesome. I mean, they write killer stuff, and they're a killer band, and we did all of that. We did everything that I did with Blood Incantation live to 2-inch tape.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Damn, dude.
Yeah, including the synth record.
No undo
Backward
buttons on
Zero.
that motherfucker, huh?
What's
There's
that?
no undo buttons on that.
No, I mean, we would just erase it if it
Yeah,
wasn't
right, start
if it
over.
wasn't what
Right.
they wanted or something wasn't right. We'd just do it again.
Yeah.
And spend the time on the performance.
And I was just going to ask, so that means you're getting much longer performances then, right?
Yeah, I mean, each side of that record is one performance.
And so, but it's like unedited? It's like stop to start?
No, we mixed it off of tape.
No shit.
Hot
Yeah.
Damn,
We
dude.
mixed all the records that I did for them off of tape.
I said edited, but really what I meant was like you didn't punch in. It's like starting.
No, I don't think we really punched on that. On that record, there's so much continuous drone and ambience. Like, I don't think there's any punches.
I'm gonna shut my mouth right now.
I mean, those guys work hard. They rehearse the crap out of everything. They, you know.
I mean, it shows,
Yeah,
man.
they're pros.
Yeah. How did that relationship come about, if you don't mind me asking?
I think from my buddy Jason that moved out here. He's super into every obscure death and black metal thing ever, and he knew about Blood Incantation and those guys. And this was when I was in my old house, so it was obviously before Star Spawn, when Paul and Eli worked at a record store.
Oh, okay.
And my buddy Jason really wanted one of their demo tapes for Blood Incantation or whatever.
Huh.
So he had gone into that store and bought a bunch of records and talked to Paul and Eli and eventually got, I think he had them order him other tapes and stuff like that and got one of their tapes.
Oh, that's
and
cool.
then he's, my buddy's got this cool studio and we do analog and stuff like that. So those two guys came over and hung out, one afternoon or evening and checked out the studio and stuff. And then we recorded some Spectral Voice stuff first.
Are they also in Spectral Voice? I didn't.
Yeah, Paul and Jeff and Morris are.
Oh, no shit?
Yeah.
Oh, dude, that's blowing my mind. I didn't even realize that. Oh, I was today years old when I learned that, too.
Yeah.
Oh, no shit. Okay, so then you did Spectral Voice before getting into Blood. Did I,
Yeah,
am I
we did
understand that right?
we did a couple of songs that I think came out on splits or stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And then we did Star Spawn at my old house.
Fucking sick, dude.
Yeah.
That's cool as fuck, dude.
That's
I love that record.
That's quite the story. Yeah, man. What is it? Human hand.
Oh, the hidden history
There
of the
you go.
human race.
That was
is that
the
what it was?
second,
Yeah.
the second full length.
Oh, sick. Okay.
But Star Spawn was the first. And I love that record. And like, when you talk about like a record, I think is like perfect or whatever. Like that record is not perfect. It's live to tape and it's raw and it's brutal. But like to me, that's one of those records that like qualifies because also people love it, and
Mhm.
and it, you know, and it really got out to people, and people got to enjoy it and experience it.
Yeah.
And that to me is awesome. Like,
Yeah.
you know, I make a lot of records, and even in New York, like records that got shelved, which is like the worst feeling in the world. You work so hard on this album, and you think it's just the greatest thing ever, and people are gonna love it, and you know, I'm gonna get a platinum record on this one,
Oh, fuck.
and then it never comes out, and the band breaks up, and that's just it. You know?
I hadn't thought about that at all. In your travels, surely there must have been some records where your fucking guts were in it,
Yeah.
and then it's just shelved.
Yeah.
Holy fuck, dude.
Brutal.
That's tough, dude.
That's brutal.
That's tough.
Man, yeah. Now, that would be, like you said, because the band's breaking up, or would it be like record label stuff? Or
Yeah, they just
had
didn't,
anything
they
in
just
it?
didn't put it out, or it didn't, you know, the label didn't see the viability of it, or whatever. Or
Oh, shit. Damn.
What, Pete, what happens to those Is it like the dead letter thing at the post office where they just exist in perpetuity?
I don't know.
And never get...
I think it depends on the band and the deal, and I'm not an entertainment attorney, but
Yeah.
Right,
you
are.
know, I think a lot sometimes, like if you later, I don't know. I mean, the record label paid for it, so you know, I don't know. Like,
Just
if
sitting-
the band gets dropped, maybe they give them that stuff. I don't know. It depends what they work out.
I actually have a unique perspective on this, okay? Because working at Trax East would be... So by the time I got there, it had transitioned into using Pro Tools, right? Pro Tools along with the Neotech board. But before that, everything was on 2-inch tape. So the back office that ended up becoming my editing suite was a tape library. And when, let's see here, when we were cleaning out that room to make it an additional editing suite, we had to get rid of all this fucking tape. It was a nightmare getting these tapes back to the record labels. They didn't fucking want them, Pete.
Oh, I
They
know.
did not want them. And so we would call up and be like, hey, we've got Discordance Axis. We've got the masters. Like, who should we send them to? They're like, I don't care. They just straight up.
I mean,
like,
I can't get musicians to take their tapes.
That was the other thing.
If you're watching this and you have tape here,
Come and get your fucking tape. I'm glad
I'm
to
out
hear,
of room.
dude, yes, dude. I'm glad to hear that it wasn't just us or me then, dude. Dude, there were weekends where I would pack these dudes' tapes up and drive them to their fucking house and be like, on their front door, here's your tapes, man. You know, here, dude from Atomic Bitch Wax, like, here's your fucking tapes, dude. And you're like, oh, thanks, man. I've been looking for these. And dude,
No, you haven't.
Yeah. I still get calls. It's from Pat Henry, who is playing in Nora now.
Oh,
and
that's
he's
right.
like, Kyle, where are the Nora master tapes? And I'm like, motherfucker, I know the last time I saw those, and I know that they were going to Carl. Carl should have them, you know.
Right.
No, man, Carl doesn't have them. And I'm like, I don't know, dude. Like, I don't know what to tell you, dude. Like,
People ask me, well, do I get to keep these at the end? I'm like, yes. Please.
Yeah, fucking take it, dude.
Fucking tape, dude. Yeah, on top of just being a fire hazard, dude. You know, like having them all in a room, dude. Don't light a match, bro. Like fucking.
Yeah, I don't think it's not like film.
No.
They won't explode.
No, definitely not. But still, dude,
Yeah.
it takes up a lot of space.
Yeah.
It's a lot of weight, and then people just aren't like. I don't know. It's funny that you guys were talking about that. It just ends up on a shelf, dude. Seriously,
Right.
I've seen it, and then it sits there for fucking years. Sony's got their vault in a fucking mountain.
Holy shit.
Sony's got their vault in a mountain. It's Sony. All the Disney stuff is in there too. And then, dude, Ozzy Osbourne did an episode where he goes down to look at his old master tapes down in the mountain. He goes down there with Jack, and they pull all the master tapes for Crazy Train and
Nice.
put it on, and they're listening back to it, and they're like, "Holy shit, man!" You know, like it's got all this wild stuff going on. But yeah, that's nuts. So yeah, records do have a place where they go to die eventually, which is unfortunate, but either way. So, okay, so we're getting into the blood incantation stuff now. So, man, big records. I'm sure that had to get a lot of attention on you here at the studio, right?
For sure.
Yeah. I mean, do you have a lot of bands coming in that are like, we want to sound just like Blood Incantation?
No,
No?
not usually. I mean, and when I talk to bands, I want bands to sound like that band.
That band.
Right.
You know, and
Right.
I hope that's what most people want to sound like. You know, but I definitely, you know, no, I mean, I definitely have people come in because of Blood Incantation, or that know about us because of Blood Incantation. But I mean, I can't remember anybody that said, I want to sound like them, because I would have said, you need to practice like them.
Right. You need to drink less because you need to be able to physiologically handle these parts.
That's great.
Yeah.
Well,
But no, I mean, it's been great for the studio. We've done a lot of, you know, underground and extreme stuff, and a lot of death metal, you know, since then. That was really some of the...
I mean, it came onto
death metal
you
stuff
came
I've
onto
done.
my radar because of the analog stuff, man. Just like reading about, like, you know, all of this is done to tape, all of this is done analog, and then I'm like, well, where was this? Who's doing these records that way? Because there's not many cats that are doing records that way anymore, or who are willing to, or who even have the equipment. Let's be honest. I mean, a lot of people who maybe are 30 years or younger that are engineers now might not even know how to run a tape machine. You know what I mean? But so anyway, so I get to looking it up, and I'm like, damn, dude. Pete's got a 9098, like fucking, he's got all this gear. Like, I was kind of surprised. I was like, how are you even flying under the radar like this, dude? You know. So I'm very happy to be here and come in and like help shine some extra light on it.
Yeah, I appreciate it. I mean, I don't advertise. It's, you know, we do a little bit of social media, a little top of mind, and that's really it. And other than that, it's word of mouth and hoping that our work, you know,
Speaks for itself and
brings in
stuff.
more work.
Yeah. Well, like, so not everybody can see this, but you can see me looking around here, all right? And I'll just quickly kind of run down some of the gear that I'm seeing in here, guys, even with my glasses off. So you can see the 9098 board behind us. We do have some distressors over there that I can see. What else? We've got a massive patch bay over here. Is that a Lexicon reverb unit?
It is. That's the Model 200.
Yeah,
That's
that-
my favorite one.
That's is that the one that's got a whole like separate?
No.
Okay, got you.
That might be a 250 or something.
Or the
R2D2
280 or something
one.
like that. Was
Or, well, there's the 224 and the 480.
there you go.
And they have the controller that
That
goes
sit on the
console.
top, yeah. And so, actually, I don't have my glasses on, so I'm having trouble. Pete, what else we got in here, man?
Well, that's my effects rack. And that's actually when I was in New York, I couldn't afford to buy like LA 2As or 1176s or whatever, but I didn't have to because I was working in
Everybody had
studios
one.
that had all that stuff. So like when I started working in different studios, and you know, my goal was to be a mixing engineer. It was like, you know, I want to be the guy that finishes the job.
Okay.
I don't want to, you know, when I worked on staff, we'd have a lot of records come in that the staff guys would record, and then they'd go to a mixer, and I'm like, it's not fun. You just send the tracks away, and then you don't get to finish the record and really put your stamp
Like,
on
yeah,
it.
your little like creative fingerprint on it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and like you know, plus you go through the whole process. You're such a part of it, and you know, I get emotionally invested.
Oh yeah.
In all these projects, like, and then to just not know what's going on, like it's hard.
Yeah.
And then also as a producer, like, yeah, I'm gonna mix it. Like you know, that's part of the production. That's part of what I do. Like, I can't if I produce something and I'm not even at the mix.
Like, how can you be sure that?
How am I producing it?
Yeah.
Like, how do I?
Right.
Like, that's. So I wanted to be a mixer, and you get to use the cool gear and the automation.
I was just
and all
gonna
that
say,
shit.
yeah.
Like, you know, running these things to really maxing them out. Like, recording's cool, but then mixing is where you really stretch it out, and you're using the automation and really digging in. So like one of the first things I started doing was figuring out like my ears.
Okay.
You know, and I heard these speakers, they're Proax with Ron St. Germain, and the first day I heard them, and then like got in his Jeep and listened to the mix in the car, and it translated like I'd never heard a mix translate from the control room to another environment.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, those are where it's at. And then also like with good amplifiers and these speakers, the imaging is incredible, and the headroom's really good. Like, you can turn them down really low and they still sound good. Like a lot of speakers, especially the powered ones, you turn them down really low and you can't really hear much.
You lose the detail.
Yeah, and these are real detail that, you know, when you get them real low and everything, so that my ears, that was important. And then, like I said, I didn't need LA2As or mic pre's or EQs, so I started putting together my sounds and my effects and stuff like that, and cool things that I would bring with me that, you know. So that's what that rack was, and that's why it's like a padded flight case, because I would stuff that into taxi cabs or my Jeep.
Right.
And it was going with you.
And it went with me,
Yeah.
you know, along with the speakers and stuff like that. And just started loading that out. But some of that stuff wasn't there. The Eventide I didn't have, but it's got those 2 delays. I was introduced to those by Kevin Killen, who's an engineer that's done a lot of stuff like U2 and different things, I think.
Oh, no shit.
And he brought one of those in, and he's like, "This thing's really cool."
Now I don't have my glasses on, so I
It's
can't
like the
read
Electrics Mo effects, and like they were made. I don't know what they're made for. They have a lot of controls that would make sense for like DJs. Like there's phono inputs, and there's like kind of performance buttons. Like you can momentarily turn on and off the different effects.
Huh, okay.
And they have MIDI control. But they have a sound, and they have distortion and delay, which is generally what I use them for.
Right.
And they just have a sound that like the plugins don't have.
Yeah.
Like, and they're cool. Like they're dirty. Like a lot of the delays I have they're really saturated and dirty, and so they're cool. And like the first one, I went into Guitar Center and they had a pyramid of them, and they were $99.
What? Really?
Yeah, they were like clearancing them or something. They were, I don't know, it was like a flash in the pan. But and then the second one I had to buy on eBay, and it was like $200 or $300.
Hot damn, dude. Okay.
Somebody figured it out. At that point, they were like, "These things are sick. We're gonna bump up the price on these." Okay.
And then the Transient Designer, that was a piece of gear that like I think Ron had, and I heard what it did to drums, and I was like, "Shit, I'm mixing a record next week."
How
And
can
I don't know if I can not have one of those. Like, can I squeeze it on my maxed out credit card? Like, where can we make it work?
Now that's one of those pieces of gear. I've never used the analog version. Is it? I mean, does the plugin even come close?
I don't know.
Oh, because you just go straight
Yeah,
analog.
right. You can't even speak on that.
How about that? So the analog as far as you're concerned, the analog version is highly effective then.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, I'm gonna have to try that out, dude.
Yeah, I like that.
Okay.
And then the back of that rack has a couple of Pultec filters.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Which I use a lot, either directly on things or on effects. And then there's some Dimension D's, Roland choruses in the back of the rack. Yeah. And there's some more effects down there, some Lexicon delays, a PCM41. We just got a PCM42 that's over there. That TC is cool. That has the 480 presets.
Oh, okay, got you.
So that's generally what I use that for. And it's also got some like H3000 presets.
Oh, sweet. Okay.
And then there's actually an AMS RMX 16 that I've been playing with a lot
Sitting
lately
back
in
there.
the 500 rack.
Nice.
So as far as reverbs, and there's a couple Moog delays there. A lot of this gear is my friend Chris's, and he is awesome. Collects gear and loves gear in the studio and helps us out.
Okay, those are good friends to have.
Yeah, he's awesome. Chris Mealy, he works at Guitar Center in Arvada.
Oh, okay.
And
Boy, I feel like I recognize
I
that.
know. I recognize that
Is
name.
he in a band?
no.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, he's awesome, and yeah, if you go to Guitar Center, you should talk to him.
Okay.
But he has a lot of cool outboard gear that he collects that he lets me use, and he also has the craziest analog synthesizer collection ever, and a lot of that gets to be used here.
Oh, okay.
Stuff like that.
That's
So
cool,
really
man.
fun.
That's when I see that kind of stuff. When I see videos of people doing that stuff, man, my eyes kind of like gloss over. I'm just like, that's something I've never personally worked with, and it's intimidating when I look at it, dude. All the like the Moog stuff specifically, cables all over the place, LFOs, all this shit. I'm just like, dude, I don't know. Would you say that you're are you well versed in how to work that stuff, Or do you kind of
No,
like let
I
the
mean-
musicians kind of come and show you, hey, this is what we're
Mostly,
going
I
to do?
mean, I know how to get around this stuff, but really, most of it's just experimenting with the filters and cutoffs and the oscillators, and a lot of them have presets, so you can, you kind of start with the presets and then move out from there.
Is there a particular piece of outboard gear that you would say is your favorite?
Well, I guess this is inboard gear.
I'm so glad to see that your affinity for the 9098, man. Like I said, this is what I learned on. In my opinion, it's hard to find an EQ section that's better than the 9098. You know, you might find some that are equal.
There's no console EQ that's better at all.
I agree with you. Yeah, I agree with you. Yeah, yeah. I mean, even on the API stuff. You know, I mean, usually those, from what I have seen, they're not outfitted with like the typical AP, like, your 550s and stuff. It's just got kind of like the typical inboard stuff that's built into it. But I don't know. Yeah, this is fucking killer, dude. I wasn't sure if like maybe you were favorite compressor by a lot of guys is going to be like a distressor or an 1176, and so that's kind of why I was asking you.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I like the distressors for sure. Like, I would take 4 more of them.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't say they're my favorite.
Oh, no? Oh, okay, got you.
Like, I think they're extremely useful and they sound great, but like, I don't think they like replace every other compressor.
Oh, no, certainly not. Yeah, yeah.
You know, so Ron has this 660 that's insane. And that's probably my favorite compressor ever. But you can't get them, and if you can, they're
gotta kill somebody.
$20,000 or something insane. It's just another based off of Fairchild, but that one is insane. It's awesome.
So how about like microphones and stuff like that? What kind of microphones are you sitting on here at World Famous?
A lot of the standard stuff. I mean, forever it was just me buying, utility stuff, and even in New York, I kind of put together the things I liked, and I used to bring my own 57s to studios just because you don't know how beat up theirs are.
Right,
and mine sounded crisp and nice.
Yeah,
they were dependable.
Yeah.
And I bought it at one point. Actually, Chris Mealy hooked me up at a Guitar Center in Albany, and I bought a pair of AKG 451s. Got a really good clearance deal or something on them. I used to bring those around with me, so I had a set of overheads. If the studio had something, depending on the album, like, if I wanted to use whatever they had, 67s, 87s, whatever, ribbons, Coles, I would use that. But if I needed to fall back on something, I had
something that you're familiar
identical
with.
Pair of 451s, and if we ended up recording somewhere else that, like at Ron's house or something, like I had my 451s. I bought a D12 because of Ron again. He had a vintage D12, and I'm like, yep, that sounds like a bass drum.
Is there a massive difference between the vintage ones and the newer ones? Or?
I don't think there is like a real new one.
Yeah, you're talking to AKGs, right?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Are they not?
They made like a VR or something, a new one, but I don't know.
I haven't bought one in so long. That's why I was like,
yeah, I mean, I don't think you can get like anything like the vintage ones.
huh, no shit.
It was the AKG D112 for a while, that kind of football thing with a green stripe.
With the stripe on it, yeah. Okay, got you. Actually, that's what I'm thinking of.
Yeah.
Is the D112.
Yeah, and they sounded like a basketball.
Yeah. So that's why I was asking. Okay, so I was getting my mics mixed up then. So the D12 is the vintage version of that. Is that what you're saying?
I guess so.
Okay,
yeah.
got you.
And they made some other bigger ones that they're hard to find. They're expensive, like D30s or whatever. I don't know.
It's fun, dude. I always thought the D112 sounded like it's a boing, 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 boing. No matter where you put it on a kick drum, put it on the front, put it on the fucking sound hole. It's just always the same, dude. Yeah. Are there? So when you're, let's talk about drums for a little bit. When you're miking up drums, are you constantly changing out mics on the set, or do you tend to kind of do it the same way each time?
It really depends. I mean, forever. I mean, all I had was that D12 was my kick drum mic.
So there was no other option for a kick drum mic.
Not really. Well, I mean, I did, once we had our own studio and stuff, I bought some 421s and stuff. That's a respectable kick drum mic.
Absolutely.
I have a Electro Voice RE20.
I was just going to say the RE20, my personal favorite kick drum mic.
That would work, and I've experimented with those. Usually they don't sound as good as the D12. And I also took a Proac woofer and made my own sub kick thing.
Oh, reversed it, and so that you can see.
Yeah, because that whole thing, the whole sub kick thing, came from people taking NS10 woofers and putting them on a stand, or anything. You could take a B15 cabinet for a bass amp and put that up. A speaker's a microphone, a microphone's a speaker, kind of thing. It's a transducer, magnetic moving coil transducer.
Right. You just kind of reverse it, right? Yeah. I remember a friend of mine when I was in high school, like starting to play guitar and stuff. I'd gone over to his house and he had turned his headphones into a microphone and was trying to record vocals, like screaming into Onkyo headphones or something like that.
I've used headphones. You put them on an acoustic guitar and plug it into a tuner.
There you go.
Before the clip-ons were so prolific,
like the Shark tuners and stuff like that.
Snark.
There you go. Yeah.
Yeah. Before everybody had those, like you might just have the Boss Stage Tuner or something. So just put the headphones on the body of the acoustic and plug it into the tuner. It works great.
I bet it does. That's actually. I mean, it's no different than like the newer, more modern tuners that they put on it because they're just sensing frequency, right?
Yeah.
Oh, that's crazy.
That's fucking. I love it, dude.
But yeah, so and then it's hard to beat 57s on snare drum. Really hard to beat. Toms, I switch up based on the drummer or what I think's going on, what kind of sound I'm going for, how many drums there are. Do I think they're going to hit my microphones?
Yep.
Oh, that struggle has to be very real. Oh shit! Yeah,
especially on because they'll fucking smash your snare mic, smash your tom mic.
Yeah, I mean, I've got some 50s. I've got a 57 that's blown out from getting hit, which it's a 57.
Yeah.
I kind of protect my 421s because you go into commercial studios and half of them are duct taped back together, or the grill's hanging off, and they look like shit.
Yeah.
I protect my mics. I don't want my mics to look like that.
Yeah.
And I'll straight up ask people, are you going to hit my mics? Like, do you hit mics? It's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Just let us know now.
I just want to know. You just want to know.
Yeah, you're not gonna get kicked out of here. We just need to know now.
Yeah.
Please,
son, you're not in trouble.
And I mean, and sometimes there's still a stray stick that hits a mic, and it happens. Whatever, they're tools. But if I think somebody's going to be beating the crap out of them, I'll use a 604 or 57s. I love 57s on toms.
I've heard drums mic'd with only 57s. I'm just like, damn, dude. Even the overheads sound good through the 57s. Yeah, it's kind of hard to beat.
Yeah, they need a little EQ, but once you EQ them, they sound amazing.
Are you the type of? Do you believe in the high pass everything? When you see all that shit going on the internet where everybody's like high pass everything.
No.
Yeah, I see that stuff and I just kind of laugh. What the fuck are you guys talking about? High pass everything. Like, what? Okay, all right, yeah. Sure. If you're sculpting, you want it to fit in your mix, but just everything, even your bass guitar, like really?
Yeah, and potentially you're creating other problems.
Right. Yeah, a little bit phase issues and masking and stuff like that. What else do you have in store for World Famous in the future here, Pete?
I mean, we're just rocking. The rock never stops.
The rock never stops. I like that. Mm-hmm. Well, usually we got a clock that we're looking at, but I feel like we're hitting our time at this point. So, where can people find you online?
WorldFamousStudios.com.
WorldFamousStudios.com. It's just that fucking easy, people. Yeah.
And Instagram. And
that's right.
Wherever else you find people.
That's right. So definitely, if you're doing your next record, get in touch with Pete. Come on down, take a tour, take a look at World Famous Studio. We guarantee you will not be let down. Okay? And definitely go to worldfamousstudios.com. Check out pathosandlogos.com. Buy some merch while you're there. Come out and see us on tour. And Paul, what do we say at the end of every episode?
Glory to the order. Eat it on the border. vision of disorder.